Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, because there's only two genders in the world, but the loony lefties will tell you otherwise, which is why I'm glad I never voted for Labour to be in power in this Islamic State country. Oh no, my vote went elsewhere, and as far as I'm concerned, it was not a wasted vote. And sadly, I couldn't be the honorary votee for a friend of mine who's lost in Japan because, well, we got administrative tasks all mixed up and muddled up. But today, ladies and gentlemen, I am revisiting a story I briefly talked about 2 days ago on this channel about GENSHIN IMPACT, the video game phenomenon from China. I said Japan, I know, and I'm going to hit myself in the face a few times because I am such a doofus that way. And I have to say, this thing is getting out of control. Do you know why, folks? Because there are no people of color or the correct colorization of representative characters in a fictional, fantastical fantasy video game. I shit you not.
Well, space fans, exciting news, huh? And there's even more in part 2.
On today's episode of Kung Fu Hot Dog.
Okay, you can come.
Are you coming?
Kind of busy right now.
And I'm coming for it, Ken. I'm coming for the fucking money, you piece of shit.
I'm like getting the feeling of coming in the gym. I'm getting the feeling of coming at home. I'm getting the feeling.
In the ass end of space, even aliens watch Jason King with Kung Fu Hot Dog.
This is the greatest show I've seen in my life.
Duke Nukem likes this guy.
People, I get the same feeling, so I'm coming day and night. I mean, it's terrific, right?
So here we go, courtesy of That Part Place. Genshin Impact boycotters claim game is attempting, remember this game that came out in September 2020 is attempting to eradicate minorities, but implicitly tells players to continue to play the game. And I think that last part is correct. You should continue to play the video game. This thing is so retarded beyond belief. We really are living in the Matrix, ladies and gentlemen. So a boycott has been launched by a handful of Genshin Impact players, and the leaders of the boycott are instructing players to continue to play the game. Yeah, well, hang on a second. Well, wait a minute. You're trying to instigate this insurrection against MiHoYo, but then you're still telling the players to continue to play the game. What is going on? Oh my god, make up your mind. Now, if you cast your mind back to 1979, Blake Edwards 10, great movie where Dudley Moore is this frustrated, middle-aged married man married to Julie Andrews, who happened to be Blake Edwards' real-life missus, and then he sees Bo Derek running in that sexy swimsuit on the beach. But the thing is, Bo Derek, striking blonde, just the statuesque beauty that she was, and she had cornrows in her hair, okay? And apparently black people were upset about it. Not at the time, much later on when social media became this big thing and black people were crawling out of the woodwork saying, how dare a white woman like her takes our hairstyles, which is really funny because the Vikings were the first people to sport cornrows back in their era. So that's kind of like ha 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 in the face of wokesters who thought they could claim that hairstyle. This is what it's getting to, you folks. We're being territorial now. If it's not the style of hair that you use, it's about the pigmentation of your skin, because apparently, folks, in a video game that actually matters. Yes, so MiHoYo, a leading game development company, has repeatedly taken inspiration from indigenous cultures without proper representation and respect. I think you're allowed to do that. Cultural appropriation and whitewashing perpetuate harmful stereotypes and diminish the rich cultural heritage of the indigenous people. Do you think people in a South American rainforest are going to give a fuck about this? Do you think they've actually got the means to get hold of a video games controller and a console and sit there and play video games for hours on end? Of course not. They're indigenous. They live their tribal life away from Western civilizations. Oh, so the list of demands, folks. This sounds like a bunch of Karens. Mihoyo, you need to engage with indigenous cultural consultants. No. Revise existing content to ensure accurate representation. F off. Commit to creating diverse and inclusive characters. Double fuck off? The petition has 43,428 signatures, of which I'm willing to bet a lot of them are robotic and do not belong to real email accounts. On top of this petition, an X account called HVY Hoyoverse Boycott was also created last week. What a coincidence. The account provides instructions to players participating in the boycott. On the do's side, it requests players review bomb the game. So basically, you've given away your strategy already. It's like shooting your load when you're with a beautiful woman before you actually get to the main climax.
All right, Nate, just pretend for a minute that I don't really care about any of that stuff and cut to the chase, would you?
Man only interested in the climax. He must be a real hit with the ladies.
Never had any complaints.
On the don't side of its instructions, it also implies that players should continue to play the game despite labeling the list as a boycott Hoyoverse. This feels like Cabrutus's DEI detected website and Sweet Baby Inc. infected Steam curator page. It feels like they're trying to copy that because they want to get some success. By the way, folks, I need to make a bit of a divergent here because one of my subscribers said I need to look at this guy called Kudu, or Kudu, who made a video, which, by the way, isn't doing very well for him. And the title is simply, "Is Genshin Impact a racist game?" Now, what's very funny about this guy, now I'm sat here looking at him, I thought, okay, and does he have any Chinese or Japanese heritage in him? Because he's kind of got that makeup, hasn't he? And but when he actually has to clarify his race in this video, I just thought that was absolutely hilarious. But let's have a quick bit of a listen and see what he has to say.
There's a lot of things about the type of culture that Chinese media has and how they depict certain groups of people and certain races of people. We don't live under a rock, we know what I'm talking about, but I don't want to get demonetized or,
oh my god, I don't want to get demonetized, I'm so scared. Oh, dude, just roll with it like Steve Winwood.
Sensitive like that, but we know what we're talking about, right?
We're so sensitive.
And with the new Natlan release, I was really excited. I'm gonna be honest. I'm someone who's Puerto Rican. I'm brown. I mean, it might not look okay because of my lighting or whatever, but
he's Puerto Rican and he's brown, but because of the lighting, he might look like a white person. No, how dare you? Oh my god.
I'm brown, okay? I'm a brown person.
But dude, if you really want to flex, I'm hot chocolate. I mean, the Dutch girls call me the hot chocolate Viking because of my horns. That would include my third horn.
One thing I noticed that Genshin is particularly lacking is people with melanin pigmentation. There are
melanin, like melanin gamers. Come on down.
Very far few little brown people, and there is not a single black person in the game. On any
do we give a fuck? No.
There is none.
Dude, it's a Chinese video game developer. They don't give a shit about ESG, DEI. Yes, you could accuse the Chinese folks of being prejudiced against other cultures. Does that affect me? No. Did I watch Monkey, the TV show back in the day, and felt offended myself wasn't being represented, even though Misasaki Aki, the lead actor, is actually the same complexion of me as me, so I didn't really care, did I? But it's so bizarre that he even goes on this tirade. Let's hear what else he has to say.
I would go to say that there's barely any brown people, like barely to none, because if you look up their hex codes, a lot of them aren't even like brown. They're like,
oh my god,
like a pinkish beige. I don't know. I was really excited for Natlan because
the thing is, he's calling out these pigmentations of the anime characters that are fictionalized. They're fictional, right? But that in itself is also racist, because you're sitting there thinking, well, there's all these white anime characters, but actually there might be a hint of a different tan to the white characters, who I'm going to be assuming are based on Chinese fantasy design characters, right? That's where I believe all the fuss is coming from. I mean, why don't you go to India, Kududu, and tell them why they don't put white people or black people or Chinese people in Bollywood movies, because that's India, that's their industry. And to be fair to India, they have actually included those same races in some of their other films. If you go to Japan, it's the same thing. China, Malaysia, South Korea, they all have their own entertainment for their own indigenous tribes. I'm going to use that term in air quotes right there. But this dude, you know what, let me just have a quick look and see what else he's done on his channel. This is quite funny. Oh no, right, so he's getting, oh my god, my subscriber was right. Oh, we need to have a talk. Okay, what are we talking about here now? Kudu?
Black's music has everything you need to make music.
Not Black's music, but Back's music. Get that straight, folks.
So, one thing you might have noticed is, one, I'm in a white shirt. Two,
oh no, he's a brown guy in a white shirt. What could he be driveling at here? Oh no, terrible.
I've been struggling a lot with this channel. Not for like any mental reasons or anything like that. I mean, I guess it's kind of mental because...
When was this shot? 2 weeks ago, and the dude's got a Christmas tree in the background. Okay. But yeah, that's an interesting video. I mean, it's all clickbaity, so good for you, Kudu. And just going back to Genshin Impact here, so Grums here has talked about woke Genshin Impact boycott is well underway, and I mean, at the time of me making this video, it's going to exceed 50,000 signatures. The woke Pantone police are crying out about cultural appropriation. So if we click on this, what do we have here? Oh, look at that. Yada, 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 yada. Just to reinforce our racist point of view, we have to make sure that we highlight all the attractive white waifus for Genshin Impact, which, by the way, is aimed at teenagers. So you can see what they're trying to do here is to social engineer the crowd. And dark-skinned characters in anime games. Look at that. I mean, oh dear God, I mean, that's a sea of diversity, folks. I mean, look, even in Cowboy Bebop, you had a black character called Jet Black, voiced by a black actor. At least I think he was voiced by a black actor. Oh, wait a minute, let's have a look. Bo Billingsley. Yeah, so he was played by a black actor. Woo! Wow, that was close. We advocate for positive change in the Hoyoverse games we love to play. The campaign, say no to whitewashing. Listen, Hoyoverse, as a brown-skinned guy, I love myself Caucasian and South Korean and Japanese women because they've got a fantastic pair of eyes and legs and thighs. I don't care about any other kind of race of woman I want to date. I prefer not to date, thank you very much. So how about you take your campaign, bend over in the corner over there, shove it up your ass, and then let us live like humans. And funny enough, he has a very attractive waifu above the campaign. Minorities deserve to be seen, not erased. You might want to go out in the real world, folks. These folks I'm talking about, the HYV, the HIV boycott page. You might want to do that. I'm going to leave you with this last story. Uncharted 4, okay? So this article is from GameSpot from December the 6th, 2015. Uncharted 4, by the way, technically a fantastic game, graphically amazing. Is it my favorite in the series? No, the first three will always be my absolute favorites. Speaking at a panel today, or back then obviously, PlayStation Experience, Uncharted 4, A Thief's Tale director Neil Druckmann provided some background on the new character Nadine Ross, who, by the way, is the worst thing they ever came up with. And she's voiced, now she's a South African character, she's a mercenary, she's really jacked. And according to Neil Druckmann, and funny enough, they actually they pronounced Neil Druckmann here, because when these other actors of different pigmentations came into audition for the role of Nadine Ross, who clearly looks like a version of Michael Jackson in the heyday before he became a white dude. So, according to what Neil Druckmann said here in this article, well, when they had the design in mind, they didn't really have the final product. Now, Laura Bailey, who's a BFF of Neil Druckmann, of course was going to get the part. She could walk in there and phone a performance in, and she will still get the part no matter what. But because this character is obviously a black pigmentation, Laura Bailey is a very attractive white woman married to Travis Willingham, and they've got a kid or two by now. So yeah, because of her casting, and she's a very talented actress, by the way. She can do multi faceted voices. She's an incredible actress, she really is. Well, if she was the best person for the job, then that's fine. You should always choose who's the best. But I can see both sides of the argument. But the reason why this character is so fucking dog shit anyway, because as Nathan Drake, you can throw punches at her, but she's always going to dodge them. But when she throws a punch at you, oh, she's always going to land on you no matter what. So that was the woke aspect of Uncharted 4 I could not stand. And yeah, good riddance to it, man. And good riddance to these fucking morons who want to boycott Genshin Impact because they think it's going to have some kind of an impact, which I find absolutely tutti frutti, loony toony. So what did you think, ladies and gentlemen? Did you enjoy this story today? Are you not surprised? Are you slapping your foreheads in shame? Because I know I certainly have been. But you know, it's a sign of the times, to quote the Bell Stars from 1983. Really great song if you haven't listened to it. And honestly, I think as the more lunatic thinking the lefties are, the more there's going to be this shift in the axis in the real world, where the right thinking, not the alt-right, but the common sense way of thinking will become more pivotal in the next few months, actually, and I will say into next year. It's going to be really, really important, folks, that we just boycott nonsensical ideologies, forcing foreign companies to adapt to the Western way of thinking, because you know what? It just ain't gonna work. And on that one, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video today, leave a like below, smash that subscribe button, and if I were you, and if you were me, you should come back for the next video.